Ready? Start. In our strategy of development, we want growth and greater equality. Stop. We want to prevent concentration of economic powers. Stop. That is why we must help the public sector as well as the cooperative sector to grow. Stop. Both absolutely and in relation to the private sector. Stop. Cooperatives combine the good points of both the public sector and the private sector. Stop. They give a voice and sense of participation to the ordinary man. Stop. They are based on voluntary union and democratic control. Stop. At the same time, they can take full advantage of modern large scale management. Stop. If I may say so, the cooperative way is a civilized way of working, providing as it does the means of diminishing large scale ownership by individuals and groups, but without sacrificing the advantages of big units essential for the application of modern science and technology. Stop. The cooperative, thus, bridges the gap between the small unit and technology. Stop. Dreams cannot become realities. Stop. Unless there are material factors by which we can implement them. Stop. It is only through science and technology that we can supply these material conditions. Stop. Even the so-called advanced countries assign a major role to cooperatives. Stop. Therefore, I feel, they fulfill a more extensive economic function than we are normally aware of. Stop. In most European countries as well as in the United States, cooperation is the ruling principle of agriculture. Stop. In Japan, cooperatives are a big force. Stop. Whether it is agriculture or industry or the services, cooperatives have made spectacular progress since 1950-51 when we took up planning. Stop. I find that the total agricultural credit dispensed by cooperatives was only rupees 300 million in that year, while last year, the figure rose to rupees 3,450 million. Stop. Over the same period, the working capital of all cooperatives has grown nearly 9 times. Stop. I am particularly impressed by the great strides made by this movement in agricultural processing and marketing sectors. Stop. Cooperation is an ideal instrument for rural development. Stop. In the government of India, cooperation is part of the same ministry which looks after agriculture, community development and food. Stop. But cooperation has a vital role in urban areas as in rural areas. Stop. All over the world, urbanization has led to the erosion of people's ability to live a well adjusted corporate life. Stop. People might reside together in cities, but they are isolated and lonely and do not seem to live together. Stop. Our cooperators should devote more attention to the consumer movement. Stop. The utility of consumer cooperatives is not limited to the fight against rising prices. Stop. We have another fight hardly less important, which is that for quality. Stop. Cooperatives can ensure quality in is what is produced much better than private trade can. Stop. We need much greater participation by cooperatives in banking. Stop. In our country, banking has largely remained the preserve of the affluent at any rate of the middle class and above, not only in its control but even in its reach. Stop. It has cared more for the big man than the small man. Stop. Only rarely do we find the common people having recourse to banks. Stop. Lately, agricultural cooperatives in some areas have begun advancing credit against an approved production program instead of the security of land. Stop. A well run cooperative banking program can finance a large number of small entrepreneurs, such as graduates who want to set up small industries, etc. Stop. Cooperative banks can also attract small savings, especially if they go to the people instead of expecting them to come to them, waiting long hours and filling forms. Stop. I believe some banks in western and southern India have already made a beginning on these lines. Stop. Para. Having spoken of the cooperatives, I must also sound a note of caution. Stop. Not all that we hear about the actual working of cooperatives flattering. There is the general belief which I mentioned that the cooperatives help the bigger people rather than the small people. Stop. Such a state affairs would defeat the very purpose of the cooperative movement. Stop. Secondly, our cooperatives seem to have become far too dependent on financial aid from the government. Stop. This is a negation of the basis of cooperation, which is self help and self reliance. Stop. Thirdly, there is also a widely prevalent feeling that cooperatives are too mixed up with politics. Stop. I find that you are discussing how to de-officialize the movement. Stop. I find that you also discuss how to depoliticize depoliticalize it. Stop. The history of the cooperative movement is India of the late 60 years shows that wherever the movement is strong, it is due to the selfless work of dedicated individuals who have steadily resisted the temptation of politics. Stop. They have regarded cooperation as an alternative form of serving the people. Stop. There is greater need in the country today in every walk of life for selfless people. Stop. It is more so in the cooperative movement. Stop. Cooperation enshrines the principle that the social good is supreme. Stop. It is because cooperation is a form of social control and also helps the common man to improve his lot. Stop. Over.